is not welding, it's just sticking metal together. So this is the welded up oil burner, waste oil burner. Oil goes in here. I'll have to put a valve on that, and I can adjust the depth of the nozzle inside. That comes out. There's a little hole in the end. It's a round nail I've just drilled a hole in, and that acts as the nozzle. So I can put that in there. This top piece here is just to preheat it, get some wadding with some paraffin or something on it. And this is the air intake. There's a cap on it at the moment. I'll take that cap off, but I can hopefully vary the amount of air that's going in it with this slide, so that air will come out. If still too much air goes in, I can put an obstruction in there. So we don't know whether it's going to work or not. This is just a prototype, but we need some oil to test it. So I've modified my pack frame and put a stronger shelf on the back, because the oil is lying in 20-litre containers. So I've made a modification to my pack frame, put a, what do you get out of it? Put a much sturdier shelf on the back there, and that'll actually be brilliant for the collection of wood at the South Gate. And I've put these tapes through holes to make it a bit more secure and a bit easier to put it on, so you're not trying to find lugs and things. It's they're already there, if you like, and you've just got to tie it across your waist. So we'll see how that goes. Now we are rapidly losing the light, so I don't know whether we're going to have any light left by the time I get on scene, but I'm on the way with my pack frame, if you can just see it on my back, to the scene of the dumping ground of the oil containers. So I'm going to get one of those containers and see if we can't successfully get it back. It's a fair distance, so if it's not too dark I can film a little bit on scene, but I would think by the time we start coming back it's going to be pretty much pitch black. So I'll cut it for now. I'll bring you back when we get strapped up and ready for the return journey. As you can see, the street lights are on, car headlights are on. It's actually quite dim. But the frame rate is very slow. Must have a very longer shutter speed in the dim light. But these are the containers, and as you can see there's one about half full, and that's the one I'm going to take, because we don't know how this modified pack frame is going to chafe, and it's a fair way back. Over towards that hill in the background, but not quite to it. Right, I don't want her mucking about in that lot, because there is some leaked oil and there's bits of fiberglass and all sorts. It's definitely from a garage. Right, I'll get the thing strapped up then. I can't film that, I don't have a little tripod, and I definitely can't do it one-handed. Well, there it is, tied on. I've just got one piece of tent guy round the middle and one bootlace on the top there, and it sits on the shelf nicely. It's not too heavy, but I've got a feeling I do need a bit of padding on these cross members. and a waist belt would be handy, but we'll see. It's over half full, so let's say there's 12 kilos in it, 24 pounds or 25 pounds, 25 pounds. It's not a great deal, but I have got to take it a lot longer distance than I would have to take the wood from the when I get the wood from the beach. So I doubt it's going to be good for filming on the move, because the light is incredibly low now. Right then, well, I managed to get back okay, and it wasn't too difficult. I could do with the load being better spread on my shoulders and really some better hip support, but the pack frame did magnificently. However, now when I put the container on there, I did check the top was on tight, but I should have got some indication as I was walking along, because I was getting a stronger and stronger smell of fuel oil, waste oil. And I don't know whether you can see, but there's a big black streak there where it's been sloshing, leaking out the top, running down the side, back over my barber jacket. So I've wiped it up as much as I can. I'm going to leave it out tonight, and I can't fully assess the damage until daylight, because I'm going to have to keep it out the house, because when it comes to light, I am going to be in trouble. But this is just the price you pay for progress. So that's it for tonight then, and we'll see if we can't get the actual burner plumbed up tomorrow with air and fuel line and some way of controlling that fuel. So I'll leave it there for tonight then. Right, have I mentioned in all this, I just might not know what I'm doing, but I don't know whether you can see it, but this is the waste oil I brought back on the pack frame, and this is the burner I've built to burn it in. So what we've got is we've got fuel coming from up above. I've risen it 10 feet up in the air to put that fuel under a pressure of approximately 5 psi into this tube here through a valve, which hopefully will allow me to switch it on and off. Whether it will allow me to regulate it finely enough, I doubt very much. So I've got fuel coming into there, and I've also got forced air through this fan. Now I will be able to control to some extent the air intake, but only marginally. Now this thing's going to need preheating, so I've put this hole in the top here through which I can preheat it. Now I'm not expecting great things. I hope it indicates that I can get a working model done, but we'll see. If it does work, hopefully flame will shoot out this end here into the bucket to save us all from going up in flames, the wood pile, the flammable hedge and everything. I've got 2 buckets of water on standby, one here and one on my escape route behind me. I'm not going to start it off with the black toxic waste engine oil. To see if it works, I'm first of all going to start off with some vegetable oil. So that's going to be the fuel that represents the waste engine oil to start off with. But to start it, I'm going to use a bit of paraffin down that hole there. And I do need something yet to block that hole, because with that hole open, all my air comes out of there and I don't get the air forced out the front. So I've just got to get something, some aluminium foil or something, just to block that, and then we're ready for the first test. Now it started blowing a gale, we're losing the light, it's freezing cold, and it's starting to rain. But with the excitement of the first start, we're not going to let any of that bother us. So I'll just get some alley for the top of that, and we'll get going. Right then, we have got a slight leak here, which is why we used the oil we did. I'm not sure what I can do about that. This is the preheater to get the oil to vaporise, because as I keep telling people, solids and liquids don't burn, they have to vaporise first. So when you're lighting your wood has to turn to vapour before it burns. Which is why one of your 3 key components of a fire is heat. You need air, fuel and heat. It's going to be a good laugh, this, if it works. Right, I'm just seeing where the nozzle is in here. Right, we're all right. Get her in there. I should have. I've done it a bit wrong actually. I shouldn't have strapped it to the metal because I can't release it now. Your gloves come into play. Soaking wet, so I'll probably get a steam burn. Right, so we're going to stick that down there. That's gone out, never mind. We'll be putting a bit more in. No, it's still going. So I'm going to have to find a better way of preheating it. This isn't a very suitable way, is it? This is now running on oil. Okay, well I'm going to have to take the camera gear inside because it's absolutely pouring down now. but we got success there, and I'm going to stick with it for a little bit. But you can see from the pond, it's absolutely pouring down, so I don't want to ruin my camera. Right, so that was the Friday flare-up, and I think we proved the principle. We proved we can get a waste oil burner working. We're not there yet. In fact, I only used vegetable oil, and it's just as well because I had a leak on the fuel. Fairly early on the nozzle blocked up, so but before it did that we did prove the system worked. We had problems regulating the air, but I can sort that out. And we had problems igniting it or warming it up to start off with. So there's a lot of work to be done on it yet, but I think we've proven the principle. So it's worth using the pack frame and going and getting a few more of those containers. And ultimately what we want to aim for is being able to use the heat for other projects. So I'll leave it at that for now then, and I'll catch you in a week or so.